ever looked at someone for the first time and thought, they look funny, those shoes are weird, or they don't look very nice? I have, and so have every single one of you sitting here today. It's human nature. Every one of us creates a judgment of whoever just walked in the door within a split second. All of you here who don't already know me just did the exact same thing to me in the few seconds it took me to walk up here, even if you didn't realize it. Hi, my name is Joanna Lippert, and I am a judgy person. I remember at the beginning of 8th grade, there was this girl who sat across from me in math class. I didn't know anything about her, not even her name, but for whatever reason, I judged her. And from that moment, I just decided that I didn't like her. Now, this girl became one of my best friends, and she is such an amazing person. But the only way life took this turn of events is because I got out of my head and decided to actually get to know her. But imagine if I had let that judgment that only took a second to fabricate, cloud my entire perception of that person. I would have missed out on an entire friendship in the blink of an eye. People judge and jump to conclusions all the time, and this can end in a lifetime spent lost in our imagined perceptions. I don't know why I'm so judgmental, but I've always been this way. I guess I thought if people are going to judge me, I might as well judge them first. It only takes a second to form a judgment of someone or something, but that little thought that doesn't take up much space in your mind has a cost, no matter how small. And the cost of deciding within a split second whether we will like something or not is that it manifests in our brains until it can only be conceived as the truth. Now, this is going to sound like a bit of a weird anecdote, but I promise it's a metaphor for something bigger. I am a super picky eater. Ask any of my friends or family, and they'll describe watching me eat like watching surgery. I don't even know why I don't like some foods, but I've convinced myself in my head that I don't like them, so therefore I don't eat them. And the exact same thing is true for the judgments we create of people and other things as well. I myself have been the recipient of my fair share of judgment. Yet even though I've experienced firsthand what being judged for something out of your control feels like, there is still this snarky little voice in my head doing just that. I have been judged for the way I look, the way I dress, and for the things I love. Like I'm sure many of you have been too. You guys sitting in front of me now wouldn't know it, but I used to have a really bad overbite, and no one let me forget it. I was called Bunny, or asked how fast I could eat a carrot with those teeth. I was judged and made fun of just because I looked a little bit different. This really hurt, and even more so because I knew I had nothing to do with the way my teeth looked, but people were still judging my whole self by that one little flaw. So if I, or anyone, knows just how bad it feels to be judged, why do we judge right back? Well, our brains are biologically wired to immediately make judgments of the people and things around us. But you need to allow yourself to form new perspectives in life, because I believe perspective is the solution to judging. I'd like to tell you a little bit about a life-changing experience I had that gave me a whole lot of perspective. When I was 5 years old, I moved to Cape Verde in Africa. I had no clue what Africa was going to be like. As far as I was concerned, everyone lived in mud and straw huts like I'd seen in a cartoon. To my relief, we did not have to live in a mud hut or hunt for our own food, but it did give me the realization that most of the time, situations are not as they seem. Keep in mind, I was only a 5-year-old with these silly ideas, but no matter how old we are, we continue to form these misperceptions. The thing that I took away from all this is that few things in life are really what they seem. Someone that you judged might be going through something really tough, and you just made it worse. I really try my best not to judge people, because I know just how awful it can feel. But sometimes, especially as teenagers, we quickly make assumptions just because we're still figuring out for ourselves who we are. We try to figure out who we don't want to be by finding the things in others that we think are wrong, and then pointing that out for everyone to see. These days, it's even easier to judge people, because we see online what the perfect person should be like, and anyone who doesn't fit that image is immediately shunned. We also often deflect our own insecurities onto other people, instead of working through our own pain, because it is so much easier to cause pain than to deal with it. It's also a lot easier to just decide you don't like someone than to make that little effort to get to know them. Yet the times when I've surpassed my initial judgment of a person or of an activity is when I've made the most memorable moments. But if you aren't proactive in changing quickly made assumptions, you'll never get to experience the true beauty of discovering something unknown. I participate in the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, which for those of you who don't know, is a youth awards program based around outdoor activity. I started the program in 9th grade last year, but I was not happy about it. I really didn't want to do it because A, I hate hiking, and B, I hate camping. But my mom literally handed the sign-up form in for me, so I kind of had to go. Anyway, long story short, I ended up really liking it and continuing this year. And it has been one of the best experiences of my life, one I can't imagine not having done. Which is why I hate it so much that I judge everything. Because it doesn't just apply to people. It applies to potentially life-changing experiences as well. Judging anything will most likely always just lead to a missed opportunity. So, by having a little perspective and an open mind to new ideas and new people, we will have so many more opportunities to learn. Letting your mind just be quiet for a second and focusing on creating a real understanding of something will open doors to countless paths in life and a more positive outlook on your yet undiscovered surroundings. I challenge you all to walk away from here today and say hello to someone you think you don't like, but actually just don't really know. Or to try an activity you think you'll hate. Maybe even just try a new food. Whatever it is, just take a second to think about what you are about to think. Because sometimes all it takes is a single thought to throw away an entire alternate life that might make you 1,000,000 times happier. And that is the true expense of judging. Thank you.